Thank you so much for coming, and apologise, we're running a bit late. So I'll make this brief. Welcome. It is physically great to see you. You are in front of us and you are real people. This is lovely. It's been a pretty interesting 18 months. We've sort of muscled our way into your houses, and now we're welcoming you back into our house. So it's great to see you. Thank you. There's no major changes this year, but we are planning to use this opportunity this year just to reinvigorate and to reinforce our relationships with the girls and also with yourselves, and having that open, honest dialogue as we go through the year. I'm going to pass you over very quickly to Miss Newnham, Mrs. Wild, Miss Eccles and Miss Gerardo. They are your team. Oh, Miss Abbott as well, Miss Abbott, who's joined your team. They are your Year 1 team. If there are any questions about the curriculum or anything else afterwards, they will then make their way out to the reception area, and you are welcome to ask them questions out there when we get the next year group in. Thank you very much. Over to you.
Hi, well, hello everybody. It's really nice to actually see you as opposed to looking at a screen, and we really hope that over the next coming months we can actually get to know you properly as well. So as Mr. Williams said, I'm Miss Newnham and I'm teaching 1N, and on a Thursday is when...
Yeah, I'll be with the girls on Thursday, which I'm so looking forward to doing. As you know, I'm really familiar with the girls, and hopefully, yeah, you're familiar with me already from our online workshops and from last year. So yeah, we're going to have a lovely year.
Hi everyone, I'm Miss Eccles and I'm class teacher of 1E, and as Mr. Williams said, we are very lucky to have Mrs. Abbott in the classroom with us as well. As you can see on the screens, on the screen there are our email addresses. If you ever want to contact us, please do not hesitate, however little, however small. And our emails are on Ms as well if you're not able to get them down now.
And on that note as well, Miss Gerardo will be our TA in 1N as well. And we also, who I know you're very familiar with Miss Naylor, she worked closely alongside reception. She will also be upstairs quite a bit with us as well. So it's great for the girls as well because they have lots of familiar faces. And it's great for us as well because we know that Miss Wild and Miss Naylor have a really good insight with those girls as well. So we know exactly where they're at. We just can't wait really to get to know them a bit better this week and as the year continues.
So, as we mentioned, the girls are already familiar with many of the school's values, price being our main one. We use these a lot. The girls have come home already with their price certificates every Friday, so we'll be continuing with that. Just lots and lots of positive reinforcement continuously through house points, stickers, verbal praise. We're really, really strong on that because it's just so important. So just a quick recap here for you. Politeness, we're always looking for that resilience, particularly this year. I think the girls have shown real resilience already in their start to school up until now, so who knows what the next year is going to bring, but these are really, really integral to us as a school. Independence, the girls are really good, and I think the transition from reception to Year 1 is a big one, one which we really prepare them for. It's on a new floor, for example. There's lots of new things going on, and we guide them through. We hold their hands, and then eventually they run with it. It's amazing. Caring, I think you'll all agree that your girls are so caring already, and that's just something that we continue to instill because it's just vital. Not leaving out effort. So lots of hard work and lots of celebration with all their fantastic things that they're getting up to.
So each term, we will display a curriculum web which you can find on Ms, and it outlines the key topics, the key concepts that we will be focusing on for that particular term. It breaks it down into subjects. So fundamentally, this term, these early few weeks up until half term, we really want to focus in English in particular, not so much the spelling side of things, but the pencil grip, how the girls hold their pencil, making sure that they're correct in their letter formation. So it's really building on what they've been doing in early years. and making sure that they're using their finger spaces, that they are just confident at just having a go at writing. At this point in time, we are introducing capital letters and full stops and basic punctuation, but we just want them to have that love of just having a go at writing, making sure their letter formation is there, sitting up correctly at the table, and just, you know, having a go with it. That's what we want them to do. And then over the course of the term, we will then start reintroducing and building those small little steps so they feel confident writers, and we start looking at the spellings and those red words and the phonics. So we carry on with all of the phonics that they would have looked at during reception, build on it all. So it's nothing new at this early stage. We just want that transition to be really smooth, making sure that they are confident in year one, they feel safe, they're secure in their learning, and they're happy individuals. And I really hope that already in these early few days that they have actually come home and told you a little bit about what we're doing. This focus this time is all about superheroes, learning about how, you know, it's been a great time with the pandemic because we have actual real life superheroes, and then we have those superheroes in stories as well, and making that love of bringing stories into our English. I'm really selling that. So if you've got any books at home, just keep them reading. You can read to them, they can read to us, you know, however it works for you as a family. In maths in particular, we're also looking at number formation, so making sure that the girls are confident at counting forwards and backwards. We're starting between 0 and 20 because that's what they're used to, and then over this term we will start building up between 0 and 50. Of course there will be some girls who might be there already, so we will make sure that we will have those extensions and we will stretch those girls. There will be some girls who will need those interventions and need that little bit further support, and again that's why we have that expertise from Miss Naylor, along with some of our SEN ladies upstairs, and again with Miss Wild as well, who's really used to being in reception. So please do take a look at this on MIS, on MIS, and there's a really useful slide at the end of this document where there's lots of tips and ideas for you to do at home if you wish that you want to support your child further. So looking at this year, we've just given you a quick outline. So this half term, as I said, is all about superheroes. After half term, after the October half term, we focus on the universe, so space. So we will start looking more at a non-fiction text. And when we talk about space, it's amazing how much knowledge the girls have, and then we start making non-fiction books. And when we discover, we have the class all dressed up in a space kind of atmosphere, and they get really into it. We learn about Neil Armstrong. So there's so many great ideas that we will be doing over that second half term. And in the spring term, we focus on fairy tales, so our topic's Once Upon a Time. And again, we do lots of cross-curricular links there. And in the spring term, we start to ease off that play that we do in early years. We still will use lots of concrete resources. So again, in our maths lessons, for example, we still will use cubes, we still make it very practical, but we start to kind of rein in a little bit on that and get them prepared for later on in the school year. By then the summer term, we really do focus on preparing them towards the end for year 2, so that there's no big surprises on the way. It's just very natural. We guide them through step by step, little and often, and by the time they leave us in year 1, they are ready for that step in year 2.
So each Friday we will send the girls home with 4 reading books, and it is our expectation that you do read those 4 reading books. It doesn't have to be obviously all at the same time. It could be in the morning before school, after school, or at the weekend. We will also send home some phonics words for the girls to read and to spell. Those include the sounds that they've been learning throughout the week. So for example, you might be familiar with the sounds that they learn. So for example, A, I, O, U, and we will set a sound for them to practice at the weekend, just to sort of go over those so that they're more concrete in their heads. We will also, set a small activity, and we don't expect you to spend loads of time, and you don't even have to do it if you do not want to, but a small little maths activity, a fun activity that they can do in their spare time. Do you want to talk about what you were saying?
Yeah, when we were preparing to speak to you all, we just wanted to highlight the presentation that we delivered when we were doing home learning and reception. We talked at length about how maths and English, particularly phonics at this stage still, are all around you. So please don't think that home learning is restricted to what's sent home in the book bag. We were saying, weren't we, if you're walking home, for example, if you're walking home from school or going to the shops or I don't know, Stagecoach, whatever it might be. Can you identify the odd and even numbers, for example, on the houses, or if you're in the supermarket, can you group the bananas into twos when we eventually get to that? If you're cooking at home, I think it's sort of a case of putting your maths hat on and putting your reading and your phonics hat on as well, and have fun with it. It is there, and I think that's what we're really focusing on with the girls, is just highlighting that there's the real purpose and the real reason to the home learning. It's not just, okay, great, I've done my 4 reading books, you know. And if they are particularly tired one evening, don't worry about it. If they are reading something else, like if it gets to, you know, if they're interested in the week junior, something like that, just don't feel, oh my goodness, I've got to make sure I'm doing it on this particular evening. We totally understand, we know what it's like, but you could catch up another day. But yeah, just have fun with your home learning, whether it's phonics.
It's also important to mention there is a reading list which can be found on MIS, and it has some really, really excellent recommendations for children for books that maybe you want to read to your child, or your child may want to read to you. And it goes has recommendations all the way from reception all the way up to year 6, as you can see.
And there are also 50 books for year 1, so there's a page dedicated to that as well. So you can see that through.
Can I please check? So these books that are recommended for year 1, it is for the child to be able to read to you. I understand that we can read the books to them, but are they for the ability of the year 1 to be able to read as well?
I would say they're more for recommendation books, so they may link into some of our,
not for them
not
to
freely.
be reading to you. I think it's texts that are appropriate for you to share.
And some of these texts we do cover in our lessons as well, so that they won't be too new to them. But there's some great resources out there, and in addition to the books as well here, I know it's really nice that some of the girls like to enjoy having those chapter books, those thicker books, rather than just reading their reading level book, along with Bud Club books as well. And we will carry on Bud Club as well during the year. So this year there are a new few changes. We know that when your girls first started Surbiton, they didn't really experience the buddy system that we wanted to give the girls. So we have already started speaking to the Year 5 teachers, and this Friday, Year 1 are going to be meeting Year 5. And what's amazing about it is that we no longer have our bubbles. So we're hoping that by the time they've met their buddy, now that we can all mix and move around the playground freely, soon we'll be seeing the Year 5s playing with the Year 1s, Year 1s playing with the Year 5, and everybody just being, you know, a collaborative group of girls together. So we're really hoping to get that ball rolling and making sure that we can develop those bonds and friendships. And it's just really nice already when I've been outside in the playground, seeing some of the girls just openly, you know, hugging their big sisters and jumping up and playing with one another. And I think they've really missed that. And I think it would be great for them socially to just develop and build on those friendships as well. Find out a little bit about what goes on in Year 5, and we'll also build in some opportunities where the Year 1 girls can actually show their work to the Year 5s and read, you know, their books to them, and just make it just that love, fun and learning, and that they're not just limited to just what happens in Year 1. They can really share that their learning as well. Later this year as well, PE is happening in the autumn term, and that's on site here at the moment. Swimming will be going on in the spring and the summer term, and actually the girls had their first PE lesson today, and they absolutely loved it. They were in here, I popped my head in, and they were having so much fun and just loving life. And the only point I just want to make there is, I know the girls are coming in their PE clothes, but there is a lot of things already going missing and getting lost. And I know it's such a bore to remind you all, but please do check that everything is labelled, including water bottles, because the girls now, because they are in Year 1, we do give them that little bit more independence. We are not, you know, holding their hand the whole time. We want to guide them, but at the same time we want them to be responsible for their own belongings. So at lunchtime when they come in here, they put their water bottle down, and then it is their responsibility to take that water bottle with them into the playground and then take it back upstairs. I know last year lots of you were bringing cutlery in as well, and while I'm talking about lunch times, we no longer need to ask you to bring cutlery in at all. It's here, it's laid out. So I know lots of you have been bringing in cutlery, so well remembered, but we're just no longer using that.
If I may just interrupt just for 1 second,
please do.
I don't know whether this is appropriate or not, but I did see online this amazing company, which this is how sad I am when it comes to labelling things. I got really excited, and I just feel like it might be a good opportunity to share with you just in case. It's called Stamptastic, and I don't know whether you've seen it already, where it's just this ink pad where you literally just get the child's label on the uniform. Have you seen it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness, it blew my mind, and the labels last up to, I think it's like 50 washes or something. Oh no, it doesn't. Not ignore everything I've said. I thought it might be a useful life hack for you. Right, I'll be quiet then. Anyway, moving on. No, fine, thank you.
Oh. I do have like loads of questions, but just one. Zoya says that there is no small size cutlery. Is it possible? Like, she said that I don't no longer want to bring it, but she said there are all bigger spoons. So could I still take it? Is it possible to bring a smaller size?
I don't see why not.
Yeah, we have got some who were bringing, and I
You know those dessert spoons? So that's the size
Oh, I
of
see what you
spoon.
They do vary slightly in size, so maybe she just needs to try and pick out.
We can encourage her to find the appropriate spoon in the lunch hour and then build her independence. Also, what you have also reminded me is, going back to PE, I've noticed a few of the Year 1 girls have earrings, and we are going to ask if it's possible if you can actually take out their earrings so they are not coming to school with their piercings. You know, God forbid if anything ever were to happen, you know, earrings being ripped out, pulled out in PE, we no longer cover it up with tape. And I spoke to a few of the girls today, and they have insisted that they cannot take out their earrings. So unless it's for any religious reason, you know, we are advising you to take that move and take out their earrings at home if possible, please.
So to what, Cecil?
Yeah.
So this year, instead of Tapestry, we are going to be moving on to a different online learning platform called Seesaw. Now, I'm not too sure about Tapestry, but Seesaw, we can set things. So for example, the homework that I spoke about before, we will put that on each week on Friday afternoon, Friday evening, where you can just go onto Seesaw. It's really, really simple, and it will come up with the phonics homework and maybe a small little maths activity for your child to complete if she would like. And it's really, really simple. We can upload, so for example, this week in all the different maths and English activities that they have been doing, and I'm sure you have as well, have been taking photos of them completing those activities, and then at the end of the week, I will put them all on, and sometimes we do it throughout the week as well. So then when you're at home, you might get a little notification through to say Seesaw, and then you can click on onto that, and then you can see what they've been doing in class. And then as well, you can also as well, if you do anything exciting outside of school, so I know for example you've had children that have maybe done cross countries that have been put on for us to maybe celebrate in class as well. Have I missed anything?
Yeah.
With Seesaw?
So you will soon all receive your own login details. So we won't be sending anything home this Friday, along with any home, so there won't be any home or anything set this week. The following Friday, so next week, you will receive in your daughter's yellow reading log, you will have all of the login details for Seesaw, and we also use Seesaw in the classroom in our computing lessons. So hopefully the girls will soon get confident using it, and then they will be teaching and showing you how it works. And it's an amazing resource. You can, like Miss Eccles has said, you can share photographs, you can put videos on. It is like Tapestry. My little boy uses Tapestry at his nursery, so it is a similar way of how we move. And Seesaw is honestly absolutely fantastic. You will get your heads around it, and it's just a great way. It's like a partnership. We can see what you're doing at home. If you've got anything amazing, maybe you had a nice vacation somewhere and you want to post that, put that on there. And as Miss Eccles said, if there's any amazing celebrations, achievements that they've been doing outside school that we don't know about, sorry, I'm not fly, then we will be able to celebrate that in the classroom and in our celebration assembly on Friday. One big change that we have noticed that's different from reception is the lunches. So in reception, they all had the same meal. Now when you get to Year 1, it changes, because there's a lot of food out there and the girls get to choose what they want to eat. So on Miss, it will be really useful because at the moment having 40 girls all queuing up, indecisive, not sure what they want to have, in advance if you could look at the timetable, the lunch menu, and just have a look, talk it through. We want to encourage the girls to try new foods as well, and we do encourage them, we are still here, but it would be really nice if they already know in advance what they're going to be eating, and then it will just help make lunch a bit more smoother as well, the transition of them choosing their order and then coming and sit down and eating it. So again, we're aware of all your dietaries, but just that's one of the main differences at lunchtime.
What next? Oh, the library. So the library, it is a bit different from last year. The library is going to be completely open. So I believe the children can go into the library during break times. And I know Mrs. McNeil has set up a sort of little reading club where she or some other teachers will sit down in the library at break time and will read a story. So if the children would like, and they don't really want to be outside when it's too cold, then they can come into the library and have a book read. We also were speaking earlier today as well, and we were saying that it would be a really good opportunity for us maybe to book out the library, maybe during some of our English slots, and we take them down to the library, so then they have a chance maybe to choose some of their own books, which obviously they weren't allowed to do last year.
Excuse me a second. Are they allowed to rent out books? Yes. They come from the library?
Yes, yeah.
How does that process work?
I don't know in terms of the break.
So we do start doing it, how we were doing it towards the end in the summer term, we take little groups down, it's all electronic, and if ever, like in the past, if ever the book hasn't been returned on the date, it will be weekly or half-term. We haven't decided exactly when we're going to be doing it, but we would make a note in the reading diary to say this is a library book, please return it on X date, and then they can just choose their books that way.
And these will be the books that the girls will be reading themselves, isn't it?
They can. We obviously guide them to suitable books, but there are always a few who want to go home with a big encyclopedia or something. So not only is it quite heavy reading, it's also heavy in their bag. So we do try and appropriate, get them to.
But is there a way that those are 50 books? Because I've been looking at it, and I'm going to drain all my money if I keep on buying those books. So
yes, you don't need to buy those books. Some of those books are in the library.
So is there a way, because she probably won't pick it up. So is it possible that those 50 books that on the reading list could be rotated in some way, that they do come home and we can return them maybe?
Something we
Some
can
we
look
can look
into.
into, and certainly as well. We always have a story time in the classroom, so it may be that we don't always read a short story. We might start reading towards the end of the year.
And the 50 books there, that's a really wonderful guide, but obviously you've got your local library as well. I'm a big fan of charity shops. I've got some really fantastic local ones near me where I'm always buying books, and then, it's cheaper than a cup of coffee. So don't feel you need to I understand, I totally understand. And also, book swaps as well. That's a really nice initiative that we could perhaps look into setting up as a class individually. I know we've done that historically as a school, but we have got a really big push on reading this year, something that every member of staff is just so excited about, and that will obviously filter through to the children now that we're back in school so much more and the library's fully open. And I know Mrs. McNeil's been working really hard on getting the library really up and running and keeping those books, they're refreshed all the time, and obviously we've got books in our classroom as well, which are Year 1 appropriate. But we can talk about reading more.
So the final one we can talk about is roles and responsibilities. So in Year 1, they get the chance to be possibly PLT, charity committee, vice and form captain, and these are roles that are chosen by the children in the class. So PLT stands for Pupil Leadership Team, and correct me if I'm wrong, David, they meet with David once a week where they maybe discuss things that they would like, that would make the school the best school that they could possibly go to. So for example, maybe they don't like something on the menu, or maybe they think they'd rather have more pizza. I think it's usually one I've heard on quite a few occasions. Then maybe they'll take that to David. Mr. Williams will probably say no, and then it will sort of...
we negotiate.
So that's one thing. So pupil leadership. Charity committee, that is run by Mrs. Fox. Ms. Fox, and she meets with them, I believe it used to be last year, at break time, so break time a week, and as a group they discuss charity events to raise money for obviously our amazing charities. We also have vice and form captain as well, and they are voted for by the children in the class. And obviously we tell them that please don't vote for your friends, vote for someone that you think will be really good for that job, so someone who's sensible and can be trusted. So maybe a job that we might give them is to get the register at the end of the day from downstairs.
I think that is the end of our presentation, but of course naturally I'm sure you have so many questions. So I think we are heading outside.
Yes, I'm very conscious we've got to get the next year group in. So thank you very, very much for coming. It is lovely to see you. The team are going to make their way out to the reception area and actually probably be outside because it's sunny. Why not? If you have any further questions, do ask them out there and chew their ears off and they'll be glad to help you. All right, thank you very much for coming. Lovely to see you.